everyone.
Hi.
Thank you for the introduction, Top. It's a pleasure to be here as part of this session. Here with me is Niklas. He works in Secure, a company that was part of Grow Academy. He was selected, among other things, because they are working. He's working in AI applied to regulatory compliance and things like that. As I told say, I work in a malware analyst, so my focus is a little bit off topic here. So most of my questions on this interview are going to be related how they apply, how Secure apply AI or generative AI to the solutions, to the portfolio. Okay. So before starting, I will ask you, Niklas, talk a little bit about yourself, about your company. What did you decide to create it? What motivates you to go further and go to the next step?
Yeah, okay. So when I was in high school, I used to be very political. I used to be a punk, basically. I was against capitalism and wanted to change the world for the better. But then life happened and I became the opposite of a punk, which is a lawyer. And but I still want to make the world a better place. And I believe that most of the regulations that we have here in the European Union, I'm completely for them because they're aiming at a good goal, like making the world a better place by protecting basically the weak, either consumers or workers, animals, the environment, and so on and so on. And I think that's a good thing. But what I also think is that if you're a businessman, if you're in the economy, you don't really care about compliance. You want to sell your businesses, you want to sell your services or your products, and you see it mainly as a hindrance. So I think we should, if we want to implement regulations properly, then it needs to be really easy and it needs to be inexpensive and fast. And that's why I founded Secure to enable that.
Okay, so let's start with a broad question. How do you think generative AI can help to improve the monitoring and compliance process for regulation like GDPR, ISO, and others?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
How do you think AI can help to improve this?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, let's get on the same page what compliance actually is. Compliance means to comply with a set of rules. That means you have some kind of regulatory framework or like a business best practice set of rules or something like that. And the totality of these rules define a target state, like a state that a company should be. And then you have the actual state of the company. And then, you need to assess what the actual state is and then map it with the target state. And from that, then you derive a project plan. Where are your compliance gaps and what do you have to do to fill these gaps? For example, I don't know, I don't have a cookie consent banner on my website. This could be like a compliance gap, but there will be a list of many, many things. And so first in getting compliant, AI can help you to assess where you're standing and then also what you need to do to fill these gaps. And then also you need to stay compliant. And here AI can help you to continuously monitor the state of your compliance. For example, if you have connected your tool stack via APIs, then you can derive some data out of this, and then you can ask the AI to assess the set of data continuously to see if you're still compliant or not.
That's great. So, as we can see in many different samples, generative AI can improve any kind of work where there are the vast amount of data. This is another example, to be honest. So talking about problems, what are the main problems you foresee in the future that can hinder this process?
So there are many problems that we're already facing right now. They're starting with basically infrastructure. I work in Germany, so our main focus is the DACH region, and our ICP is mid-market SMBs, and a lot of them, I mean, in Germany, basically all the economy is relying on the automotive industry, obviously, and that means there's a lot of old economy companies, and so getting to the point, digitization is the first hindrance. So many of these companies, they don't have modern tools. They use a lot of on-premise technology, if any, or even like analog processes where they print out and copy some pages and send them via mail somewhere. So that's, I think, the first barrier of AI adoption is even digitization, at least in Germany and France. And then yeah, on the other hand side, I think startups are more willing to adopt technologies like that, but then they lack the financial resources, and also for many of them, they're still figuring it out. They're still just trying to survive. So also compliance might be not their top focus. Their top focus is acquiring new clients or raising capital or something like that, and it should be. So yeah, these are the main, I would say, go-to-market hindrances for our AI-enabled compliance technology.
Okay, so let's focus now on Secure, the company. I would like to talk about the challenges, all the challenges you had to face when adopting generative AI. Let's talk about, for example, infrastructure, development, and product integration. What kind of problems do you find when adopting generative AI?
So first of all, I can share what we use AI for. I would say we are a more progressive company with the use of AI. So all of our employees use AI in basically any parts of business, starting even from business strategy or content creation, video creation, image generation, and also we use it for creating policies or helping our customers because yeah, obviously to assess the state of compliance that I have said before, we need data from the customers, and this data can come into our tool via different ways. First, I've already mentioned API. We can scrape websites for that, but a lot of the data also comes from forms that the customers have to fill. And here also AI can help them to fill out these forms if they don't understand the question and stuff like this. And this is obvious. This is also the first time where we are facing some problems, because here sometimes the AI doesn't understand the question itself, because some of the questions are, you need to understand the context. Basically, you need to read all the questions, and you need to know in what module is this question asked. Is it like a GDPR question? Is it an information security question? Then what topic does this question addresses, and so on. So if you don't want to write a question that gives all this context, you have to provide the AI or the prompt with some information about the context for what this question addresses.
Are you using GI in the monitoring process? I mean, because you need to check the company's compliance with the different regulations, and I guess this requires some kind of monitoring process. Is generative AI included in this process? Are you training your models? Are you using external models?
So what we're doing, but this is what we're currently building right now. We're using AI for mainly content creation. We're working on a LangChain solution where that helps customer onboarding. So if you're a more mature company that already has a lot of compliance legacy, you have, I don't know, you might even already have a ISO 27001 or SOC 2 certification. So you have already created some, I don't know, code of conduct, some policies and stuff like this. We use, or we're working on a LangChain solution to read through all these documents and then make the settings in our software so that you're not starting from scratch, but your actual state of compliance is imported into our software. So that's what we're currently building. And our more longer term goal that we're working towards through is when our customers use our product, they produce a lot of data. And then there's, again, a lot of contextual data, like what's the company size, what are their suppliers, what services or what goods are these suppliers deliver to them, what tools are they using, how many different offices they have and where, and also like all the processes where they process data. This is like a GDPR requirement, the so-called records of processing activities, and all this data can then be assessed, or that's what we're working towards, to create a risk model. And yeah, we can basically assess companies of that size from that industry. They have had the most data breaches while performing this special activity, and then we can tell them, hey, this special activity, processing activity, leads to a lot of data breaches. Maybe implement the following technical and organizational measures to prevent that.
So that brings another question that was in my mind. The challenges in that data handling. How do you handle the data? The privacy, anonymization, sensitive data, encryption, data protection, those kind of things that you need to include when you're processing requests to generative AI endpoints and things like that. What's your point? What were the challenges? What are you doing to resolve this problem?
Yeah. So actually, that is a problem, because if you're just, for example, sending data that, or a data set that contains customer data, or even your IP or your employee data, you just copy pasting it into ChatGPT, for example, then that's a data breach and that's illegal. And the safer way to do that, because you, at the same time, if you don't want to build your own model, that's the easiest way for all the startups and all the companies to use AI. So the easier or the better and more compliant and safer way to do that is if you send the prompts via the OpenAI or via the Google API to the LLMs. And then what we do is we've built basically a data platform, and all the prompts that we send out of the platform first go into the data platform, and there the data gets basically stripped of the personal identifiable information, and even like who's sending the prompt to OpenAI is just like is encrypted basically, and then we get back the result from the prompt, and then this is sent to the data platform, and there it's then again enriched with the personal identifiable information or the customer data that we don't want OpenAI to see. But this is like we have a solution, we've built a solution for that, but it's extremely complex, and this also delivers a lot of mistakes because again, like some of the information is relevant for the prompt, and then if you strip it, then sometimes the prompt doesn't make sense anymore.
You said before something that I want to go deeper. When you say that maybe you can use a local model, things like that. Gemini Nano is going to be released end of this year. You can run it locally. So maybe that kind of technology can help you dealing with this data, because the data stays in the system. It doesn't go to any other company and points or whatever. You don't need to anonymize this kind of information. How do you consider this technology maybe to be adopted in 1 year, 2 years, things like that? Could it be solve this problem?
Yeah, definitely. That would solve the problem. I mean, if we're being honest, we're also sending customer data to all different kinds of tools that are not an LLM. Like we're using a CRM or something like that, and we're storing a lot of, like all our emails are stored in HubSpot, for example. And I mean, what's the difference? AI is just another tool, right? It's just a different form of technology. But then again, there's like some blind spots. What are they doing with this data? Are they training the models? And then can this lead to some data breaches because some other people, will then read something that you uploaded into the, and that's the main issue with AI.
Okay, that's open, for me it opens a new paradigm for all the kind of computing, having a local implementation of generative AI. Let's talk now about a tough topic. What happens with the regulation change? How you update this regulation in your system? What kind of problems can it produce to you your products when the regulation change? Okay.
So I think we see that. You mean if AI gets outlawed or what? Or
Regarding the adoption regulations that you need to comply, you use generative AI to comply for any kind of regulations as the regulation change.
Yeah.
So you have to update your model, you have to train it again. I don't know. Does it suppose a problem for you?
No, not really, because I mean, the AI will have limited use cases for, I think, a very long time, or at least a couple of years. We are using it to solve one specific problem where we provide the relevant context, and I mean, it can, even if the law changes or if the law gets updated or something like that, the law would be part of the context that we give with this prompt, and so this wouldn't be a problem.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. We have a little bit more than 1 minute. I want to talk about your plans to include generative AI in other lines of product, of how to include it in your portfolios. What in your mind? How are you planning to include generative AI or any other kind of AI in your products? Yes, talking about the next few years.
Yeah. So basically, the main big goal that we're working towards is the one that I've already mentioned, like the AI enhanced risk model, and that gets more better and better with the number of customers that adopt our product. Currently, we have a little under 500 customers, and it's still like we're still producing some valid results, and I'm very curious to see if we have 5,000 or 50,000 customers, how valid these results will then be. And that's basically the main goal that we're working towards.
Okay, that was great. Thank you very much, Niklas, for your speech, for participating in this talk, and thank you to all the team for inviting us and let us talk about generative AI. Thank you very much.